Governor, what do you think is going to be the takeaway after this debate from the American people?
I think it will be clear that Trump comes out the dominant force after this debate. I mean, this is the XFL. This is JV. I mean, and honestly, this is maybe a vice presidential debate. These guys are getting lapped by Donald Trump. It's not even close. It's not even interesting. And I think what's most interesting to me is, do they recognize that? Or are they actually going to show up and run against the guy that's in the way of their prospects to be the nominee? It's a zero-sum game. It's a binary choice at the end of the day. It's not a ranked choice voting. So either these guys come after the front runner and distinguish themselves, or otherwise they're wasting everybody's time. And I say this with love and respect. There's a reason some of the advertising is being discounted for this debate. People don't even want to tune in because they know that fundamentally.
You mentioned it before, what you were talking about. You also tweeted it out. If you really think they are going to let either Trump or Biden get anywhere near the finish line, open your eyes, folks. There's something deeper going on. It's staring us right in the face. Vivek, who is they, right? Are they the swamp creatures? And if not Trump, if not Biden, then who's it going to be?
Well, that's a much more complicated conversation that'll be an hour-length discussion going beyond this TV hit. But I'll tell you, the they refers to the permanent state, the establishment. It's not Republicans versus Democrats. If you look at here, the very people who are paying for lawsuits to keep Trump off the ballot, from the Reid Hoffmans to the Larry Finks of the world, just follow the money. See who they're actually putting up this time around. It's far more devious. I used to think they were going to sideline Biden for Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama. It's far more insidious than that. And I think that people have to see this isn't R versus D. It is deeper than that. The permanent pro-war establishment. Who's going to keep that war machine humming?
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the Democrats, who are extremely foolish, right? And stories like this is exactly what I'm talking about, because only a fool would do what the Democrats are trying to do right now to Trump, knowing the fact that the more that you attack Trump, the stronger that he gets. It's almost as if they actually want Trump to win, right? Maybe that's the case. I have no clue. But it seems like it with these types of behaviors that they are engaging in, okay? As the Colorado Supreme Court, as you guys know, all liberal court activist judges basically ruled that Trump was ineligible to be on the state ballot because he violated the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment, okay? Even though he has not been charged with an insurrection or anybody associated with January 6th and what happened today, nobody has actually been criminally charged with the act of insurrection. However, Democrats, because they don't care about the rule of law, right, and they're actively trying to overthrow democracy, right, aka overthrow our republic, they have decided to continue this effort to remove Trump from state ballots, okay, as the Supreme Court is going to weigh in on this Colorado decision, and this Supreme Court decision could open up the floodgates for other states to try this stunt as well, too, depending on how it goes. And one of the states that is already trying to move forward with taking Trump off the ballot is California, as the Lieutenant Governor of California went to CNN and basically said, hey, we're going to try to do the same thing. And again, this is just another example of the foolishness of the Democrats and why Trump just continues to gain more popularity. So I want to talk about it because Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, has actually spoke out on the Democrats in his state calling to have Trump banned from the ballot. But first, we got to listen to this interview with the California Lieutenant Governor and CNN to hear them talk about why they're so Trump deranged that Trump needs to be removed from the California ballot.
Territory in our country, and the decision out of Colorado is a very significant fact. When the Supreme Court of Colorado determines in an examination of the facts that Donald Trump is an insurrectionist and therefore is disqualified from being on the ballot, certainly here in California we have to look at that information and make the same determination here.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, because a group of liberal judges did it, that means that we have to do it, right? Clearly, activist judges who all went to Ivy League schools, who are all ideologues, who really don't care about the rule of law, because they did it, that means that we have to do it. Again, amazing stuff. Could you guys imagine if the Democrats actually packed the Supreme Court of the United States with liberals, right? Could you guys imagine? I mean, this stuff would be extremely commonplace, right? This is exactly what they want. They want to be able to decide who's allowed to hold public office and who can't, right? They don't want to put the power in the hands of the people like they claim they do. No, they want to put the power in the hands of woke activist judges, okay? And, woke Democrat, lieutenant governors and whatnot, like this woman right here, okay? This is what they want to do, right? They want the DOJ to decide, right? They want to lock up their political opponents. It's really fascinating. It really is. I don't understand how anybody can't see what's going on here from the Democrats.
Okay, so if you're saying to look at that and then just make that determination outright, Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, for instance, said, quote, whether Trump is eligible to run for president again is a decision not for secretaries of state, but for the courts. I spoke with her today. She's not going to suddenly get involved in the Michigan effort just because of this Colorado ruling. Is she wrong as you see this?
Well, the Secretary of State, certainly I know in California, has the responsibility of determining whether or not people are qualified and meet the threshold test to be put on the ballot, whether or not they meet all of the requirements. And what we know out of Colorado and this very important case is that they have determined he is not qualified because he is an insurrectionist. And that, to me, is a very important piece of information that our Secretary of State needs to consult with the lawyers who she works with to make a determination if we need to use that as a justification here.
Yeah, so a judge's opinion, okay, an opinion that is not backed up by any type of criminal charge or anything like that, by the way. Let's keep that in mind. Should be enough to bar Trump from being on the ballot across the country, right? According to this woman right here, right? The opinion of clearly and obviously woke political activist judges, right? This is what she's openly saying on CNN. So they want to try to remove Trump in all these states. And that's what you're going to see, right? What Colorado did, it might not necessarily be successful with the Supreme Court, but trust and believe it will embolden more of these states that are run by these Democrats to do this, right? They're going to try to do it because they're afraid that Trump is going to win. Writing's on the wall that if the election was held today, Trump would probably win in a landslide. So there's going to be a lot of pressure to stop Trump from being able to win fair and square.
On that issue of being an insurrectionist, your letter says, quote, the Constitution is clear. You must be 35 years old and not be an insurrectionist to run for president. Is it really that clear, though, if it is going to require, as we expect it will, the Supreme Court to weigh in?
Well, that's going to be part of the process as well. Look, this is all about our system of rule of law, and we have never remotely had anyone running for president or be a front runner for president who could come close to be considered an insurrectionist. But we all know what happened back on that terrible day when the Capitol was overrun. We all know the information that has come out since. And so for this Supreme Court in Colorado to evaluate those facts, make that determination, that is very material. You know, it doesn't say you have to go through a legal process and be convicted as an insurrectionist. So that has to be weighed into this as well.
Yeah. So again, you don't have to go through a legal process according to Democrats, right? A judge can just declare it. And therefore, you're an insurrectionist, right? I mean, you would think that labeling somebody as an insurrectionist to the point where you ban them from being able to run, again, you would think that would require criminal charges. But according to Democrats, their logic, no. So again, by this same logic, a panel of conservative state judges should be able to just remove Democrats from ballots, okay? Conservative judges should be able to say, you know what, I think this Democrat is an insurrectionist. I don't need any criminal charges or convictions to back it up. I just think they committed an act of insurrection. Therefore, you're banned, right? You're banned, okay? You violated the 14th Amendment. No criminal charges or convictions necessary in relation to committing an insurrection, right? I mean, I think that this is why, you know, I'm so disappointed with Republicans for not at least attempting to expel Jamal Bowman, because like I told you guys, Democrats always go for the jugular, right? They always go for the jugular. And I'm not saying that it won't backfire on them, because clearly it's going to backfire on them when it comes to Trump. But I'm just saying, I think that this is not going to stop until Democrats actually face consequences for their actions, for setting these new precedents, okay? But again, at least there's one Democrat that's smart enough to understand the consequences of what these liberal activist judges did, okay? And he knows that they're setting a dangerous precedent. And not only that, they're not doing anything but really helping Trump at this point. So that Democrat is Gavin Newsom, who, you know, for as psychotic and psychopathic as he is, he seems to be at least reasonable when it comes to this issue right here. California Governor Gavin Newsom threw cold water on an effort to block former President Trump from the California ballot, warning it was undemocratic. Quote, there's no doubt that Donald Trump is a threat to our liberties and even our democracy, aka he's a threat to our dictatorship, right? There's no doubt. Trump is a threat to our dictatorship, okay, which I agree with. Trump is a threat to our dictatorship, okay, 100%. Newsom said in a statement, quote, but in California, we defeat candidates at the polls. Everything else is a political distraction. Trump was disqualified from appearing on Colorado's Republican primary ballot earlier this week after a ruling from the state Supreme Court. The order has been stayed pending a final ruling from the Supreme Court. A clutch of other states are now exploring the idea of barring Trump from their ballots, including New York. Yeah, so again, you're going to see a whole lot of this. At least you have one governor, Gavin Newsom, coming out and saying, hey, you know, this is not a good idea. We don't need to do this. We're obviously hypocrites if we do this. But I think more so anything, I think he knows that this is not doing anything but helping Trump, right? Every single time they do this, Trump's poll numbers continue to go up, right? Imagine what Trump's poll numbers going to be at the end of January, okay? We might be talking about Trump winning by like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 on average, right? It might just be landslide in the average poll, okay? With the way things are currently going, right? I'm so serious. And Democrats, they never learn. They just continue to attack and attack and attack. And Trump just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And they're at the point now where they don't even think that they can win fairly and squarely. So they want to take the guy off the ballot, which is, again, a shame that this is happening in our country. Okay. But, you know, hey, at least there's one Democrat that realizes that this could and probably is going to backfire and that this is extremely hypocritical to do. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.